Were you able to reach
This
out
is
to
something
any
I'm
of
not sure.
the Were you able to reach out to any of the role players? Temugona is first. Badebo is not going to speak. Then we have next the ITM face winner. So needs to speak and
Only Toastmaster Adebowale, right?
Badebo. But I'm saying that have you been able to reach out to other people?
Yeah, I couldn't reach out. I saw your message. I couldn't reach out. I just finished the meeting at work.
Oh wow. I wish you spoke to me, I would have reached out.
Oh, apologies. I presume that they were already informed before today now.
Yes, but they also need to be prompted. And that's how we from the last meeting. All right, let me start reaching out. Good evening, Toastmaster Maker. Thank you so much for joining. I think we are more likely going to start a little bit later than expected. Seems some of our role players there are still caught up in the race.
Oh, okay. Good evening.
Good evening,
How
good evening.
how was work today?
Very, very well, very, very well.
Good evening, Mr. Incoming President, sir.
It's not a star boy. Star boy, is that you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you still at work?
Very good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm still at work. I'm still at work.
Okay.
Toastmaster Debo, please, can we get everything in order so that we start in the next 10 minutes or 5 minutes?
Yes, yes. I'm also trying to reach out to the speakers, to the panelists.
Apologies, everyone. It's not in our nature to start meeting late. Just give us 5 minutes to settle in with some of the speakers. Second, I need to get my stuff.
All right. Jolly, jolly, good evening. Please confirm I am audible.
Yes, you're.
Thank you very kindly. Good evening, esteemed Toastmasters, distinguished guests, contest champions, aspiring champions, and lovers of excellence. I'm delighted to be part of this auspicious meeting. There's this quote I absolutely love by the American entrepreneur and author Jim Rohn. Success leaves clues. This evening, we will not only be celebrating winners, but we will be uncovering the clues behind every trophy, uncovering the clues behind the standing ovation, uncovering the clues behind every contest victory. Because while many people see the spotlight, only few see the preparation. While many see the medal, only few see the mistake. And while many of us may see the victory, only few understand the journey. If you are as excited as I am this evening, may I see your favorite emoji buzzing up? Thank you very kindly. Thank you most generously. This evening will be a masterclass because we will be hearing from the best of the best, the cream de la creme in Toastmasters Division D. And I would first and foremost like to give a context into what the journey has been, especially for the contest winners. As many of you might have known, this started within the club level. So usually the club is the core of the Toastmasters community, which is usually made up of a minimum of 20 plus members. Then we have the area, which is made up of 3 or 5 clubs. Then we have the division, which is made up of more than one area, 2 or 3 areas, then which culminates in the district, which is usually cross-regional, that is across region. The contestants here, our champions here, scaled through each of these Toastmasters hierarchy, from the club to the area, the humorous and table topics competition culminated at the division level, while the international speech contest and the evaluation contest proceeded to the district level. And at every stage, the contestants faced stronger competition, tougher expectations, and even higher stakes. Yet these remarkable individuals persevered through and they emerged champions. And this evening, these courageous, charismatic, and captivating champions have graciously agreed to pull the curtain and reveal what really happens behind the scene. Permit me to expatiate on what the format will be like in this session. Each finalist will share their insights into their contest journey. Some of them will tell us about their preparation. Some will share their mistakes. Some will perhaps reveal their strategy. But I know one thing is certain. We are all going to learn something, take something away from this meeting. We would all leave with a lesson that perhaps would make us aspire to be champions. And definitely we'll also be having a Q&A session, a question and answer session, where we have the opportunities to ask our favorite finalists some burning questions when it comes to contest. Just to be sure I am still being heard, please react with your favorite emoji. I see we have more people have started to join the meeting. Thank you very kindly. Thank you for those reactions. And I would like to confirm that our captivating champions are already in the room. Okay, I see, yes, I see our champions are in the room. If you don't mind, you might want to switch on your video camera so that we are about to start the session. Thank you very kindly for the reaction. If you are a champion in the room, a distinguished champion, a charismatic champion, kindly switch on your camera just to signify that you are ready, because we are ready to learn from you. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Emeka. I see our table topics queen. I see a prepared speech runner-up champion. I think I'll be starting with is Toastmaster Emeka on the call, our district evaluation champion. Toastmaster Emeka, are you on the call? Okay.
Yes, I am.
All right, champion is on the call. Thank you very kindly, sir. If you are ready, let me see those emojis coming up. Yeah, if you are really ready for this, if you are ready to, I'm sure you are with your pen, your biro, and you are ready to jot down strategies, you are ready to take down notes. Personally, I'm here with my biro and my paper, and I can't wait to get them. So let's proceed. I've already explained the format, but I would reiterate again. For our champions, you would be letting us into the preparation, your strategy, your mistake, and what we can learn from your contest journey. Now we switch gear and we go straight forward to our district evaluation champion. Someone who has demonstrated remarkable listening skills, critical thinking, and the art of communicating constructively. Today, this evening, we would find out how he has been able to master this and balance this brilliantly, which culminated in him emerging as the district evaluation champion with a rejuvenating applause. Please make welcome to the spotlight the effervescent Toastmaster Emeka as he lets us into his contest journey. Toastmaster Emeka, you have 5 minutes. Thank you most graciously.
All right, thank you very kindly, Toastmaster, the star boy at the Eagle Toastmasters Club. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is a privilege to be with you here today at the start of 2026. I had no plans to even contest or partake in any contest. I was speaking to a colleague of mine the past a week ago, and I said I find myself an accidental champion. And the reason is simple. Currently, I'm the Vice President Education at Eagle Toastmasters Club. So it's my duty to organize contests. And when you're organizing, the rule says you cannot participate. But then I've been organizing contests even before I became VPE, because I was VPE 2 last mandate. And I told myself, this is the last contest. I would like to, have a try. So I told my VPE 2 to run the contest so that I could participate. And that was how the journey started. Now, I wasn't born an evaluator. Nobody is born with these skills, right? There is no substitute for success than hard work. So it was just all about hard work. Now, at the club level, I didn't even come first. I came second because I had a formidable competitor, and that was Toastmaster Thane Sweener, who was the previous evaluation champion at the division level. So I came second at the club level. But I told myself I had an opportunity to contest again at the area level since I was second, and I took that opportunity. I started preparing myself. That was when the journey started. So after the result from the club level came out, I started digging deep. How can I be better? How can I come out top at the area level. That was my target. And after the area contests, a lot of people came to me and said, I'm not even worried about the division. When are you going to the district level? And that got me thinking, what does that mean? I said, no, this was more than good for area level. And surprisingly, I got to the division level. I thought I was not going to make it. And again, I came first. I went to the district level. Again, I came first. So how did it happen? Success is not accidental, right? It is earned. I had to study tirelessly. I came up with 39 parameters for evaluating any speech. I repeat again, 39 parameters. When I started after the club contest, I had only about 9 parameters. I told myself, this cannot be the end. There must be something else. I went deeper. From 9, it grew to 12. There must be something else. From 12, it grew to 24. There must be something else. From 24, it grew to 30. There must be something else. And, you know, the further you go, the more difficult it gets to add more. So sometimes I just add 1, sometimes 2. I kept on digging until I got to 29. Then I started listening to all the world champions of public speaking. I started from the latest one. I started going. I got to the 2000. I started going, listening to their speech and evaluating all the world champions of public speaking. I started doing this till I got up to the 90s. When I started listening to the speeches from the 90s, I started losing connection because they were speaking of things I don't really connect with. That was when I stopped. Then I started listening to the speeches of the semi-finalists. So I started from the latest again, listening to all the speeches of the semi-finalists and evaluating. That was the level of the preparation. I left no stone unturned. Now, for those 39 parameters for evaluating a good speech, I had a script for recommendation. I had a script for commendation. For example, if someone uses a rhetorical question, right, in the speech, how do you commend that? I had an exact script for that. If someone had the opportunity to use a rhetorical question and didn't, then it becomes a recommendation. So how do you give a recommendation for a speaker using a rhetorical question, for example, to open a speech? I had a script for that. So for those 39 parameters, I had both commendation and recommendation scripts. So 2 times 39, that gives you 78. So I had 78 scripts I was working with. I kid you not. So by the time I was going to the district level, I knew that whatever the speaker does, whatever speech he was going to give, I was going to find something to recommend. Now, how do you actually start evaluating? The first thing I told myself, what exactly are you evaluating? Because evaluation is like metadata. Metadata sits upon data. So if you are going to evaluate a speech, you should know what a good speech looks like. You should have a reference. And so that's what made me go to the basics, because I like learning from first principles. So I had to know what makes a good speech, and those were the 39 parameters. Now, the next thing you do is, how do you identify in real time while a speaker is speaking? Now, if you've done evaluation, you will know that it is easier to pick out the commendation. It's easier to pick out what the speaker is doing well. It is more difficult to pick out the recommendation. How do you recommend an improvement? What if the speaker is very good? What areas do you pick out for him to recommend? So recommendation is more difficult than commendation. And this is how I solved that problem. So now I have my 39 parameters. After the speaker finishes speaking, I asked myself, out of these 39, which one would be relevant to this speech? And I pick out of that 39. So it's always easy to pick out something, right? Then for every speech, I segment a speech into about 6 sections. So normally you will have the opening, the body, and the close, right? Now, the body, I had to unpack it further. So after the opening, at the body, the first thing a speaker does is to set the scene. So at the beginning of the body, what they are doing is they are describing the characters in the story. They are describing the scenery. So that is the scene setting. So when a speaker is setting a scene, there are some certain things they should do. They should tell you the goal. What was their goal? What were they after, right? Why were they after that goal? So I know what to look at when they are setting the scene. After they're setting the scene, you go to the middle of the speech. So that is the middle of your speech, right? At the middle of your speech, you're supposed to deepen the struggle, escalate the conflict. So I know what to look out for. Then towards the end of the body is where you have the reveal. The reveal is when you tell us the meaning of this story. What's the lesson from the story? And there's a way you deliver the lesson, right? You give us a central message, you give us a call to action, and you give us a takeaway. So that was how I segmented the speech. So at each segment, I noticed, okay, this speaker has left the introduction. He has gone to the setting the scene. He has moved from setting the scene. He's now in the middle of his speech. He's left the middle of speech. He's about to reveal his key message. So these are the parameters I should be looking out for. Now he's gone to closing his speech. These are the parameters. So that was exactly how I mastered the art of evaluation. So understanding the basics, the parameters, having a technique for evaluating in real time, and then practicing, rehearsing a speech in front of the mirror, having a template. So I had a template for opening. I know exactly how to open an evaluation speech, and I have a template for ending. I know exactly how to end my evaluation. I had like 3 different templates for ending, right? And I know how to transition from the opening statements to the first commendation, transition from the first commendation to the second commendation, how to transition from the second commendation to the first recommendation, how to transition from the second recommendation to the summation, the summary, and then how to transition from summary to the final statement. So I had that template fixed. I knew exactly what to say, and that made the whole process easy. So I'll stop at that, and I'll wait for questions. Over to you, Starboy Adebowale.
Thank you most graciously. Please let's give our exemplary Toastmaster Emeka a rejuvenating applause for those invaluable nuggets. I could sit on and listen to Toastmaster Emeka give us those invaluable tips. Success is not accidental, it is earned. I had 39 parameters for evaluating. Can you beat that? I had templates for opening, body, and the ending. And I have a transition for each of those templates. There is no substitute for success. It is earned. Thank you once again, Toastmaster Emeka, for sharing those invaluable tips with us. We proceed to the next speaker, but I would like to remind our speaker that the time allotted is 5 minutes and you should pay attention to the screen. The red card will be displayed on the screen. When you see the red card, that means you should be rounding up your discussion or your presentation. Now, from first place, we move to second place. The next person I'm about to introduce is someone I like to refer to as the king of acronyms. He emerged as runner-up at the division evaluation contest. With a reverberating applause, please make welcome the outstanding evaluator whose contest journey has much to teach us. The eloquent Toastmaster Emeka Eze. Please give him a reverberating applause as he sheds light on his contest journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. And I kept wondering why I came second, but tonight I think I saw the reason. I didn't have 39 parameters, I had just 26. Well, good evening, very delectable Toastmasters and guests. It's a pleasure to share my journey with you. For me, joining the contest, I started with the mindset to learn and ensure that each of the delivery or in each phase that I was better than my previous evaluation. And when I joined, I was barely just 1 year in Toastmasters. So I was still a beginner. I had just finished my level one. So pretty much a beginner, kind of. In the club level, I came second because I competed against a formidable speaker, Toastmaster Koforo Olajakun, who is my VPE. So she came first, I came second. And I know I told myself each step of this journey needs to be better. So I had to prep. I took it much more seriously. And in the area, I came first. And then division, the man with 39 parameters came first. But how did I approach this journey overall? For me, what came to my mind was that in terms of evaluation contest, there are essentially three key things. Before the speaker delivers a speech, there are things to be done. During the delivery of the speech, there are things to be done. And after the delivery of the speech, there are things to be done. So I focused my preparation around these three core areas. Before the speaker comes up, there are a couple of things I did in the background. One of them was to practice keenly with my mentor. Very warm shout out to distinguished Toastmaster Stella rather Odunwa. She was gracious with her time to coach me to ensure I understood the rubrics of evaluation. Other things I did before this speech was listening to tons of good speakers speak and asking myself, what could they have done better? So I made it tougher by listening to the champions, international champions. So I focus on their speeches because it's much more difficult evaluating seasoned speakers I discovered than newbies. So I focus on those ones until I was able to start seeing areas of improvement, even from seasoned speakers. Then I knew I was growing in my evaluation journey. Other things I did was to come up with a clear note-taking system because I knew the speeches were just perhaps 5 to 7 minutes, and I needed to have a very clear way of taking notes so I don't miss out on important points. So I came up with a framework that I was using to take notes. So during the speeches, things I did, one was to utilize that framework. So I didn't listen to everything that was being said. I listened to the major things. First was, what is the purpose of this speech? I Wearing my empathy suit, I wanted to know what major feedback will I give to this speaker that will make the speaker incredible and also be useful to the audience. So those were like the anchor points I was looking out for. And to do this, I had my own parameters, although not 39, it was 26. So what I did was I had A to Z of recommendations, I had A to Z of commendations. So what I did was research on speeches all across different topics: leadership, change management, personal experiences, communication, etc. And based on that, I crafted A to Z of commendations, strength I saw across each of those speeches, A to Z. And then I had A to Z of recommendation. So the idea I had in mind was that regardless of the level of the speaker and whatever the topic is, there must be something I could use from my toolkit to quickly appraise the speaker. So during the speech, obviously you need to listen carefully, take your notes very much clearly. So before even the speaker started, the framework was already clearly drafted in my notes. I was just filling in the pieces of what I wanted to say. So the formula I used basically was I tagged it, it's a, forgive me, it just looks pretty long. But what it is T, S1, S2, R1, R2, S3 plus S1, S2A. So what this means is that I started with the theme. I wanted to summarize the central theme of the speech. What was this speech about? That was what I started with. Then recommendation, which is like the core strength, strength one, strength two. Then recommendation one, recommendation two. And then I ended it with recommendation three, summarize again with recommendation one and two, and then a call to action. So those were the delivery style I chose. Then watching different people present or deliver evaluation, I knew I wanted to be unique during my own evaluation. So I was asking myself, how can I distinguish my delivery style so that it's memorable to the audience? And I thought about two things. One was, since I trained as a geologist, was to use different geology team to couch it or to use acronyms. On reflecting on the geology one, it sounded too abstract, and I was like, okay, let me use the acronyms. And since I already had a toolkit of A to Z, I knew it was impossible for me not to form any acronym quickly because I could quickly spot using the letters, key strengths and commendations, weaving them together to get an acronym, which was very helpful. So usually during the speeches, I start to look out for keywords that I can use to form a very easy acronym. And in the case in point, during the division contest, when the speaker spoke, I went through my toolkits and I had like 3 acronyms I could use, but I wanted to see which one was memorable that would be a bit more natural in my delivery. And I went with CAST TV. I think I remember, yeah, that was the acronym I went with, because the speech was really around expectations and reality. And for a very weird reason, immediately the speaker talked about Niger Delta, I kept seeing Asari Dokubo, and that's kind of motivated me to use TV because I saw the word photo where he said, pardon me, just to quote what he said then, he would say, they never leave you, photo, 70 years old man. So that was what came to my mind. And I was like, okay, this is expectation versus reality. So if I use photo, which is photography, something around television will make it stick. And I went with Cast TV and went through my toolkit to get all of those. So to summarize, for you to win in your evaluation, you need to prepare before, you need to listen carefully, have a notes taking framework, have toolkits or parameters to look out for, and practice, practice, practice. For me, it was with my mentor and the personal studies I did that helped. Overall, those were really what happened, and I learned along the journey, and each of my evaluations got better as I went up in the journey. Yeah, I think I'll stop there. My time is up and take questions.
Wow, wow, wow. Please, let's keep the reverberating applause coming. Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Emeka. Many see the spotlight, but only few understand the preparation. Many see the victory, only few understand the journey. My notes are filled, Toastmaster Emeka. While Toastmaster Emeka had 39, you had 26. Wow. I never knew this much of template goes into preparation for contest. You also talked about having toolkits, and you reminded me of this quote: if you know where you are going, your journey is short. If you know how to get there, your journey is shorter. But if you know someone who has been there and is ready to take you there, your journey is the shortest. You reminded me of that quote when you referenced the distinguished Toastmaster Stella Odunwa as your mentor, who also helps you in your contest preparation. As they say in local parlance, follow who know road, which means relate with people or have people who have experience so that they can guide you and properly mentor or coach you. I can't thank you enough, Toastmaster Emeka, for those invaluable nuggets. And we proceed quickly to our next champion, the fascinating Toastmaster Fame. She emerged runner-up at the Division International Speech Contest. This speaker demonstrated remarkable excellence at the club level, area level, and proceeded to the division level. With a rejuvenating applause, please make welcome to the spotlight the fantastic, fascinating Toastmaster Fame Swinner.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Adebowale. You're doing a fantastic job this evening. Good evening, Toastmasters. It's a pleasure to share with you my strategies and what went wrong or what I felt that I could have done better. This year's contest for me was quite emotional, and I will share that with you. When I decided to contest, I was a member of Eagle Toastmasters Club, and I decided to contest in both the evaluation and the speech contests at the club level. And I remember I had written my first speech, or I had written a speech, and I thought, yeah, this is good enough. Let's do this. But before I began to practice, I thought, do you know what? Toastmasters is a large community of excellent speakers, not just at meetings, but even at contest levels. So I sent in my first speech to Toastmaster Adering. And when he had read the speech, he gave me the feedback and he said, the speech is okay for club level. And I thought, huh? What do you mean by club level? Like, I thought about this. I've written all that I can. And then he said, it's a good speech, but if you really want to win, you've got to be more introspective. Why do you want to share any story that people would be willing to listen to? You know, for me, writing speeches is a hassle, honestly, even now. And I just thought, no, God, I don't want to write another speech. You know, I was convinced that what I had written was a winning speech. But you see, one needs to be humble when you are learning. And I thought, okay, do you know what? This is a champion. He's been there twice. So let me think about it again and write another speech. It takes a lot to write a good speech. And I noticed that I had rushed the first speech. Now, I've written better speeches than the one that I had submitted. And so I took a lot of time to think. I'm always thinking. And the question that I asked myself was, what do you want the audience to feel when you are speaking? And I said to myself, I want them to feel what I'm feeling. And that's where it began. Having thought about what I wanted the audience to feel, I began to think of topics that were emotional. And there's a lot that's happened in my life. And then for me, the challenge was, do I want to share this? Nah, I don't want to share this. I mean, like, hey, I don't want to put all my cobwebs out there. And I began to think about my journey as a speaker. As a child, I was very, very shy, very shy. And not only was I shy, I was a middle child. And middle children seem to get passed over because they'll be all right. Whatever you give them, they'll be fine with it. And I never really complained. And so I realized that my shyness had developed into a trait that affected my adult life. Yes, justice for middle children. Thank you, Toastmaster Kelvin. And that incident that I had shared in my speech was very personal to me. And I also wanted to think that I wasn't alone in this confusion of living in a home where you are not able to share your emotions. Don't get me wrong, I didn't live in a house where we didn't play or anything. Of course, we did all of that. But when it comes to expressing your feelings or your opinions, nobody cared about how you were feeling. You're going to do what we say anyway. And so I felt that this was something that people would resonate with. Now, that was the first challenge for me. The second challenge was having won the evaluation contest and the speech contest at the club level. In between, I was moved to become the Vice President Education of Elite Eagle Toastmasters Club. Oh boy, that was tough because I was getting calls. Are you not representing Eagle? No. Oh goodness. Toastmaster Fee, God bless you. Love your heart. She harassed me. She said, no. Let's get dual membership for you. You have to this, you have to that. And I was just thinking, oh my Lord, like, what am I going to do? I was really confused. Toastmaster Joy would call me. Toastmaster Adiniro as well would call me and be like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I'm thinking to myself, well, if I told you what I wanted to do, I'm not sure any of you would like it. And so I'm here thinking to myself, oh, Lord, I just wanted to improve my public speaking skills. What is the meaning of all this? So it was quite emotional for me. But at the end of the day, I said, well, you know what? Represent the club that you are in and just do your best. So once I had made up my mind to stay on at the new club, I began rehearsing my speech. One of the things that I had done was I recorded my speech, and every now and then I would listen to it because I wanted to get used to where all the words were, where the points were. Now, one of the things that many of you probably wouldn't know was that every time I gave that same speech, something changed, because I knew what I wanted to say. And that's because it was my story, so I could tell it any way that I wanted to without moving around too many parts. And that's why memorizing speeches is not the best way to go. So I had recorded my speech and I used to play back every now and then. I used to eat my speech, sleep my speech, wake up, I'm thinking about my speech, I'm driving, I'm rehearsing my speech. So I was always rehearsing my speech everywhere that I was. The second thing that I did was I listened to past winners. Last year's winner, I listened to Ndini, the very famous speech by the, is he Zimbabwean or Zambian now? I can't remember. I listened to semi-finalists. I looked at how they used body language, vocal variety, and just trying to really use my voice and my movements purposefully as I gave my speech. The one thing that I feel that I probably could have done better was maybe add a bit of humor, because I think my story was extremely emotional. And I know some people felt like crying when I gave the speech, but I will tell you this. Even though I came second, I really felt like a winner because I gave the best speech of my life. I've never spoken like that before, anywhere. I was confident. I was giving eye contact like you were my brother. I didn't care. I was looking at the camera. I used pauses. I felt really, really good. I wouldn't lie to you, at the division stage. I felt really, really good. And so now I know I'm capable of standing in front of 10,000 people, which will happen one day, and give a speech, because I've learned everything that I need to give a fantastic speech and to influence people and to motivate people and to encourage them in their journey in life. And so this is my story. And I will go again next year. And I hope that I will get to the final stage and maybe end up in France. That would be fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Wow, wow, wow. Please, let's appreciate her with a rejuvenating applause. I will go against next year. That's the spirit of champions. They don't give up. My notes are filled. I ate my speech. I slept with my speech. I kept rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing. What do I want the audience to feel when I am speaking? I gave the best speech of my life. Wow. Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Finn Swinner, for those invaluable nuggets. Now we proceed very quickly to a captivating champion, someone I deeply admire for her incredible energy and vocal dexterity. Some of you have known who I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker achieved something truly remarkable. Success in multiple contest categories. She emerged as the Division D International Speech Contest winner and Humorous Speech runner-up. That is a testament to her versatility, creativity, and excellence. If your virtual hands are not too busy, please make welcome to the spotlight the zealous, zesty Toastmaster Zoe.
Thank you very graciously, Toastmaster Adebowale Adetunji. 29th November 2025. 11th April 2026. 2 contests, 5 months apart. 2 contests, 5 lessons alike. King Zambezi of Zumbazi Kingdom, in search for a suitor for his only daughter, called for every eligible young man within and around his kingdom. At the river, he announced, "I'd give half my kingdom and my daughter's hand in marriage to any man who'd swim successfully across this river of crocodiles." The river was filled with crocodiles beyond measure. No one dared. No one stared until one lanky-looking young man let out a loud cry to his God, landed in the river, and began swimming across frantically. The entire community held its breath until he made his way successfully across the river. The crowd erupted. The young princess fell helplessly in love. The king rose to his feet in utter delight and admiration. Then he asked, "Young man, how Did you do that? Panting, breathless, he replied, "Who pushed me?" In the year 2025, Toastmaster Ruben Uzo, our club coach, added my name to the humorous contest list. I cited it. I was confused. I immediately picked up my phone. "Toastmaster Ruben, please, I only signed up for table topics." His response, "I'm afraid, Madam VP, we can't let you off on this one. You would have to develop a sense of humor in the next few days." Ha! In the year 2026, in a random chat with my mentor, Toastmaster Jimmy Edidion, he asked rather casually, "So, Toastmaster Zoe, would you sign up for the evaluation and international speech contest?" I texted back, "Well, I have nothing to lose." For both contests, someone pushed me, and I allowed myself fall for it. Once I realized I was in the river, I began swimming frantically. For both contests, I prayed to the Almighty God because I recognize that He is the source of every pure inspiration and creativity. For both contests, I put in the work while working with people. I scripted my speech, submitted the scripts, took in evaluations, acted on the evaluations, rinsed and repeated and repeated, and rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. For both contests, I saw aspects of myself I doubt I'd have seen if I wasn't contesting. For instance, when I signed up for the humorous contest, I also was in the table topics competition. While I scaled the club level, I got to the area level, lost sight of the timer, spoke beyond my allotted time, and was disqualified. When I also signed up for the table international speech contests, I also entered for the evaluation contests. Scaled club level, only to get to the area level, and I spotted my areas of weaknesses. So the judges were spot on and accurate when they marked me down. For both contests, my wins lit up a path for my club. Being a member of Sunshine Festa Toastmasters Club, those wins were a way of showing my people what is possible. So, of course, like the saying goes, can anything good come out of Nazareth? To them I say, and indeed to everyone, yes, and yes again. And this is only just the beginning. So, fellow Toastmasters and intending competitors and contestants, while we sing the victory chant today and re-echo it on June 20th, allow me leave you with these 5 lessons from my personal experience on 2 contests. Number 1, allow yourself to be pushed by your mentors, your coaches, your leaders, and even fellow members. Number 2, pray to the Almighty God. He remains the source of all pure inspiration and creativity. Number 3, put in the work while you work with people. Remember, it takes an entire village. Number 4, keep your eyes wide open for areas to work on long after the competition is over. And number 5, remember that your win is our win, not just for your local club, but for this beautiful, fantastic public speaking and leadership community. So, who pushed me? Toastmaster Ruben Uzo and Toastmaster Jimmy Edidion. Thank you for pushing me. It's back to you, Toastmaster Adebowale Adetunji. Thank you.
Thank you most fervently, the zealous and zesty Toastmaster Zoe. At a point, I thought I was listening to another international speech contest. Wow, that was beyond magnificent. Such vocal dexterity. Oof. Toastmaster Zoe, that was fantastic. Thank you most graciously. Like other speakers, my notes are indeed full. At the point I was bedazzled. I was bedazzled, especially with your story around the King Zambezi. Wow. But I think you summed it up with the 5 nuggets which you concluded your presentation with. Allow yourself to be pushed. Pray to God that is connect with your source of creativity, your source of inspiration. Then put in the work. Then long after the contest, reflect on your speech to see areas which you can work on. And remember that it's not just your win, it's a win for your club, for your community, for your family, and for the country. I can't thank you enough, the zealous Toastmaster Zoe, for those invaluable tips. Thank you most graciously. As we proceed to the next speaker, Toastmaster Olua, please confirm you're on the call. Toastmaster Olua Tobiloba. Thought I saw you earlier in the call. Perhaps she is not on the call again. Okay, we proceed to the next speaker.
She's on the call, but it seems like she cannot hear us. Yeah.
Okay.
Please proceed.
All right. Thank you very kindly, Mr. Chair. I'll proceed to the next speaker, someone I have deep admiration for her incredible energy, which has earned her the nickname Fifi the Fire. Anywhere you see her, you see fire. She excelled significantly at a contest where preparation meets spontaneity. She emerged the queen of table topics, table topics champion, with a rejuvenating applause. Please make welcome to the spotlight our table topics champion, Toastmaster Fifi the Fire.
Oh dear. Thank you, most graciously. Toastmaster Debo, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. Thank you. I like this quote that I heard sometime last year, and it is, "He who sweats more in training bleeds less in battle." Those words by Richard Marcinko, the US Navy SEAL, perfectly summarize my journey to becoming the Division D Table Topics champion. Now, having listened to Toastmaster Emeka Enwere share his formula for winning the evaluation contest, I couldn't help but notice that there are quite a few similarities between our approaches. So, my first piece of advice is very simple. Join Eagle Toastmasters Club because we clearly produce winners. On a more serious note, though, the similarities in our journeys point to an important truth. Winning is rarely accidental. Ironically, I never planned to compete. Just like many people have shared, Toastmasters are inclusive. However, as the Vice President Public Relations of Eagle Toastmasters Club, I was responsible for creating the contest flyer. And when I finished designing it, I noticed something interesting. Can anybody guess? We had 7 contestants in our club that were about to contest, but not a single woman was contesting. And so after I posted it, I asked, can we have some diversity? Can any women volunteer? Our club president encouraged us and said, even if the deadline has passed, female members come forward. But nobody did. Eventually, I asked myself, if I'm asking other women to be brave enough to compete, shouldn't I be willing to do the same? So I volunteered. To be honest, I did it for the girlies. I wasn't expecting to win. But to my greatest surprise, I won at my club, and then at the area and at the division. Looking back, I will say that I employed the power of 4 key secrets that helped me along the way. And for anybody that wants to be a table topics champion, I'll advise that you take some notes here. The first thing is this: table topics is still a speech. Yes, many people treat table topics as a collection of random thoughts. I didn't. Even with only a few seconds to prepare, I make sure that my response has an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. I have a clear point of view, and I always try to end with a summary of my point and a call to action for the audience. My second secret: have powerful openings ready. Toastmaster Emeka spoke about 39 paradoxes. Toastmaster Emeka spoke about, I think he said 26. Ladies and gentlemen, brethren, I memorized 27 quotes for my table topics contests. I categorized them into themes: leadership, mindset, family, courage, success, failure, personal growth. I didn't just memorize the quote. I knew who said it, where they were from, what they did for a living, and why their words carried weight. This meant that instead of using my precious seconds to repeat the question when asked, I would immediately capture attention by starting with a quote, and then I transition into my speech. And I know many of us, especially during table topics, we say things like, oh, it's great that you repeated the question. I wanted to be different because I knew that most participants would repeat the question. So I never repeat the question back. I always started with a quote: club, area, contest. Even when I'm giving a table topic speech at a normal club meeting, I tend to start with a quote. Now, if quotes are not your thing or you find it difficult memorizing quotes, you can achieve a similar effect with a question, a statistic, a paradox, or a creative restatement of the question. My third secret was deliberate practice. And this is something that I'm very passionate about. After I won at the area level, I now became very intentional. I asked 2 Toastmasters to help me prepare for my division contest. Ironically, one of them is Toastmaster Adebowale and also Toastmaster Timile of Eagle Toastmasters Club. And so we set a recurring meeting invite every single evening for almost 2 weeks, from 8 p.m. to 8:40 p.m. I would put on my camera, I would stand in my living room, and they would fire table topics questions at me back to back. We would practice 8 to 10 questions per evening. And I never knew the questions in advance. They would just say it and I would answer. They had timing cards they would display so that I could get used to the timing. And then I would receive feedback immediately to understand how to improve and then move straight to the next question. And what I found was that the practice didn't just improve my confidence, it revealed my weaknesses. For example, I discovered, and they also discovered, that I struggle with abstract topics. Once you give me a question that is very abstract in nature, my mind doesn't process it very powerfully because I'm a right brain thinking person. So once we identified that gap, they deliberately increased the number of abstract questions during the practice until I became much more comfortable handling them. I also made it a point to participate in table topics at many club meetings, as many as possible. So every opportunity to stand up and speak became another opportunity to learn. And my fourth secret is feedback. Once I did the area contest and I became serious about getting to the next level, I reached out to some experienced Toastmasters. For example, my president, Toastmaster Joy, my VPE, Toastmaster Emeka. I reached out to Toastmaster Craig as well, my area director, and a few others. And I specifically asked them one question: what do I need to improve before the next round? And they gave me lots of feedback that I put in and deliberately worked on. Those insights helped me refine my delivery, strengthen my structure, and become a better competitor. So, if I could leave you with one final thought, it would be this: table topics may be impromptu, but you see, championship performances are prepared. Or, as the American author Jim Rohn famously said, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. And that's exactly what I did. Over to you, Mr. Moderator.
Wow. Wow. Please, let's keep the applause coming. Thank you most graciously, Fifi the Fire. She came with fire, and I can't thank her enough for those invaluable nuggets. Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Fin. Whoso more in training bleeds less in battle. She did it for the girlies. If I may ask, who are you going to do it for? Come the next Toastmaster session. Treat table topics as a speech. Let it have a structure. Have a powerful opening. In her case, can you beat that? She had 27 quotes up her sleeves. People are beginning to make me rethink this contest, If Toastmaster Emeka had 39 scenarios, Toastmaster Emeka had 27, Toastmaster Fin had 27 quotes. Hey. And finally, reach out to experienced Toastmasters. Thank you once again, Fifi the Fire, for those magnificent tips you have shared with us. Thank you. I can see our next speaker is ready to go. One thing that separates good speakers from great speakers is consistency. And our next speaker demonstrated that throughout our contest journey in the international speech category. She went on from the club to the area and emerged as runner-up at the Division International Speech Contest. With another resounding applause, please make welcome to the spotlight the outstanding Toastmaster, Oluwatobiloba.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Adebowale. Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests that are here. I'm delighted to be speaking to all of us here today. And for me, I have learned so much from everyone that has been speaking. I've heard people that have infused 27 quotes. I've learned that there is so much in terms of preparation, in terms of reaching out to prepared speakers or esteemed Toastmasters as well, people that have gone ahead of us, to practice with them. And that's something that I'm taking home with me today. But just to share with us my own contest journey. So I've been participating in contests, and I remember the first time I was asked to participate, I was a bit afraid. So maybe there's someone here today that is a bit afraid of participating in contests. I'd like to tell you that contest makes you a better speaker. They make you a richer speaker as well. One benefit that I would say I've gained from participating in contests is I have become more confident. So every time I have showed up again and again, whether I won or I did not win, I have become very confident and I have refined my skill. I've also refined how I speak at every point in time. So I like to say that contests are not just about winning, they are the fastest ways to grow as communicators. And every lesson is an opportunity for you to grow. Every stage is an opportunity for you to learn something different about yourself. It may be that you're learning adaptability. It may be that you're learning competence. It may be that you're learning confidence as well, but it comes from just repeating again and again, and then you become better and you grow to become a better communicator. So that's one lesson I'm sharing. One of the fastest ways to grow as a speaker is to attend contests, participate in contests. It would help you grow as a communicator and it will just accelerate your journey. And I will say that for preparation personally, what I have started learning is to start early, especially for the international speech contest. I'm learning that you start from this year. So the international speech contest just finished now. And you know that you want to participate in the next international speech contest. Start writing your speech from now. Start thinking about great ideas. What do you have in mind? Draft something. You have one line today, draft it now, rehearse it, receive feedback, repeat the process, start again. So that's something I started learning recently, to start preparation early, because it helps you refine your speech and it helps you refine over and over again. The second one I would say is don't underestimate rehearsal. Make sure that you rehearse as many times as possible with as many people as possible. So go out of your way, go to different clubs, volunteer to participate in speeches in that club for that day if there's a chance, and keep practicing. So you practice, an evaluator gives you feedback, you incorporate it, and then you try again. One thing I would do differently is I would start practicing earlier. So start rehearsing early, rehearse with as many people as possible so that you can get that feedback and refine it along the way. The third thing I would say is seek feedback. Toastmaster Finn referenced how she would ask distinguished Toastmasters and ask people just to give feedback. Seek feedback, reach out to different people, ask them for feedback. It helps you unveil your blind spots. It helps you see yourself, and it also accelerates your growth. Feedback, they say, is the breakfast of champions. So seek feedback. And lastly, I would just like to say that, number one, try not to compete not just for the trophies, but compete for growth. The trophies are amazing. They are wonderful. They're great to have, but growth lasts much longer. So if you want to take anything with you, I would say compete for growth. Number two, trust your story. You don't need anything dramatic. You just need an authentic story and you need to tell it well. So trust your story. And last thing I would say is focus on progress and not perfection. Perfection is like you get better every day, but as you're progressing, you see that you're evolving and you would become a better version of yourself. So you don't need to feel ready. Most of us don't, or maybe there are some people here that do. You don't need to feel ready all the time. You don't even need to have a perfect speech. You just need to step forward and begin. You just need to step forward and start. And whether you win or not, you're going to become a stronger speaker. You're going to become a better storyteller. You're going to become a more confident leader. And years from now, you would remember that the person that you became, you remember the person that you became because you chose to compete. Thank you so much, and it's back to you, Toastmaster Adebowale.
Let's keep the applause coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you most significantly, the outstanding Toastmaster Oluwatobiloba for those highly constructive insights. Thank you. My notes are filled. Contest makes you more confident. Contests are not just about winning. It is the fastest way to grow as a speaker. Start early. Seek feedback. Compete for growth. And more importantly, trust your story. I can't thank you enough, Toastmaster Oluwatobiloba, for that insight-rich presentation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. I wouldn't wish I was in any other place than to be here at this moment, learning from these courageous, captivating, and charismatic champions who have shared their deeply awe-inspiring contest journey. So it has really been a truly remarkable evening. Now we proceed quickly to the Q&A session. Because of our time, we will allow for just 3 lucky people to ask questions, just 3 persons, 3 questions. Who are the 3 lucky persons? This is a chance to ask your favorite champion a question. Perhaps there's a question that has been burning in your mind. You can ask, just signify with a raise of a virtual hand. And while we are at that, may I ask, kindly drop one lesson you've learned from this evening while we get the questions, while you arrange your thoughts. Just drop that nugget or that line, something that has stayed with you from this meeting or from this gathering. You can drop it in the comment section. Do we have any question? I see the comments. Yeah, recurring themes, preparations. Yeah, preparations, people. Yeah, that's why I like Toastmaster Enemika. He has found a way to put it in, arrange it in peace. Preparations, people, and performance. Thank you most kindly, Toastmaster Enemika, for dropping that. It takes a village. The zesty and zealous Toastmaster Zoe. Do you have a question? And I understand that this is being broadcasted to the socials too. Perhaps you're on YouTube or Instagram. You can drop your question in the chat room. Do we have any question here on the Zoom call? You can just signify. You can as well. Oh, okay. I see a hand raised up. You can also drop your question in the chat room if you have a question. So without taking much of our time, I would like to take the fascinating Fifi the Fire. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Debo, and good evening once again, Toastmasters. My question is actually for Toastmaster Emeka and Toastmaster Nnemeka. You spoke about paradoxes. Can you just break that down a little bit more and what that means? I want to believe you're talking about different scenarios, but Toastmaster Nnemeka had like an A to Z, so he had 26 commendations, recommendations. Toastmaster Emeka, you had a different approach. But can you just help us understand? Because it's something I'd really like to explore next year, partaking in the evaluation contest. Thank you. You're muted, Toastmaster Debo.
Toastmaster Enemeka, you have the floor. Apologies, I was muted.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Finn, for that interesting question. To be practical, what I did was essentially to listen to speeches across different topic areas. Because for an evaluation contest, you are not privy to what the speaker is going to speak about. So having a breadth of knowledge across different topics makes you able to react in a very short period of time. So for me, it was watching and listening to speeches across different topic areas and seeing what was consistent across board in terms of strengths and areas of improvement. So based on that, I listed them out, and because I had a style I had in mind, which was to use acronyms, I knew that having at least a strength or a recommendation in each of the alphabets will make it easier for me to come up with acronyms just within 5 minutes of preparation. And that was the strategy. So the more you listen to different speech concepts or different speech areas, the more you enrich the diversity of your knowledge to be able to react to whatever style or whatever topic area that comes along. So that was the strategy. I don't know if that clarifies your question.
Thank you so much. And parameters, not paradoxes. Sorry for that. But is it
Yeah.
possible for Master Emeka to also just explain his own strategy for the parameters? Toastmaster Emeka, am I
Yeah.
ready? Okay.
Yes. Good evening. I heard your question. So by parameters, I mean the qualities of a good speech. For example, um, deepening the struggle. So when you're telling a story, you're supposed to deepen the struggle so people catch the emotion in the story. For example, rhetorical questions. For example, foundational framing, takeaway message, call to action. So those are the parameters of a speech, right? And so I had 39 of them, which I could use to evaluate a speech. There's audience engagement, there's audience connection, there's a message transfer, there's message delay, there is what is it called? Reverse. There are lots of them. So those are what I call parameters. So those are the parameters, the qualities of a speech you use for evaluation. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Very clear.
Thank you very kindly. I see some questions are in the chat room. This is for Fifi the Fire. What are the secrets to remembering great quotes? Toastmaster Finn.
Wow. That question is quite difficult, to be honest with you. But what helped me was that I didn't just pick any quote. I focused on quotes that resonated with me. So, for example, the one I shared around, he who sweats more in training bleeds less in battle. I heard that in a meeting and it just resonated with my spirit. And so for some reason, I just absorbed it. So what I find is that there are so many different quotes that I read, but none of them really spoke to me. So I try to focus on the ones that fascinate me and then just try to learn them bit by bit, like the first part and the second part. So I focus on the meaning. Once there's resonance with the meaning, then I can start to try to memorize the words. But I found that if I tried to memorize the ones that I didn't really like, I would never remember them. That's the only way. For example, it was Master Debo's favorite quote. I know that by heart because it also resonates with me. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So, yeah, and I think when you also try to deliver speeches, you're constantly engaging your brain to remember your order, even if you don't cram your speech. So I find that since I started Toastmasters, my memory muscle is actually working much better. So the more you deliver speeches, I think, the better your memory muscle will also get. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you most generously, Toastmaster Fifi the Fire, for that terrific insight you shared with us. I Toastmaster Craig's hands raised up. Yes, it's a distinct honor, sir. Have the floor.
Yes, Master. Adebowale, you are a distinguished master of words. I want to thank you most graciously for relinquishing control of the spotlight. May I take this opportunity to congratulate our champions for making us proud. And I want to especially congratulate again Toastmaster Emeka Iwere, with whom I worked, and who after 5 years replicated my dream of passing the torch and reproducing a district speech evaluation champion for our division. I would love to stress that if you want to compete, you want to go into a Toastmasters speech evaluation contest, please get my book. My book will help you to go far in the contest. And even though you're not competing, you just want to become a better, masterful evaluator. You want to master the intricacies of evaluation. Get my book. Get my book. Having said that, I want to once again congratulate all of the champions again. And back to you, Toastmaster Adebowale.
Thank you most graciously, our magnificent English doctor, for sharing those invaluable insights. Please get the book by Toastmaster Greg, How to Deliver Effective Evaluation. And I couldn't agree less. That book is useful and would help you very significantly in delivering effective evaluations of speeches. I see a question in the chat room by iPhone. It says, Toastmaster Emeka, please, how do you remember 38 quotes? I thought the person wanted to say, how do you remember the 38 parameters which you use? Toastmaster Emeka, please help a 40+ brain.
Very simple. I learned from first principles. So although I try to memorize the scripts, I don't bother about cramming it. So I go and understand what it means. For example, I had a difficult problem distinguishing between audience engagement and audience connection. They are not the same thing. They are not the same thing. Connection happens at the emotional level. Audience engagement is just the reaction of the audience. But does the audience like you? Do they care about you? That's connection. It's at a psychological, emotional level. There's a difference. So I had to understand the difference. I studied the principle. I read several articles. So when you understand deeply, then you will know what to say when the evaluation comes up. So it's about studying and studying and studying. For one particular parameter, I can study on that parameter for 4 days just to understand deeply what it means. And that's what makes you a champion. Over to you, Toastmaster Adebowale.
Wow. Go back to the first principle. Study, study, study. Thank you most graciously, Champion Toastmaster Emeka, for those invaluable nuggets. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, erudite Toastmasters, magnificent guests, gracious friends, this evening has been truly remarkable. I can't thank the courageous, captivating, and charismatic champions for sparing time out of their busy schedule to share this insight. Insight has really been an insight-rich session. My books, my notes are filled. Growth, courage, resilience, rehearse, prepare, have a coach, have a mentor, have a support, contest for growth, not because you truly want to win, but because you want to grow. As a speaker, focus on your progress, trust your story. It has really been remarkable. Please, let's give a courageous, captivating, and charismatic champions a rejuvenating applause. Please, let's keep the applause coming. And I can't thank you, the audience, for being a truly great audience throughout this session. It has really been a wonderful session. I couldn't wish I was anywhere else than learning from champions at this moment. At this juncture, I would like to make welcome the 4 Okay, I would like to make welcome Toastmaster Kelvin Uveki. But before I do that, according to the agenda, I'm supposed to speak briefly about the upcoming Dear Gala Awards night. If you thought tonight was really inspiring, June 20th, 2026 promises to be awe-inspiring and unforgettable. Have you gotten your ticket? Have you RSVP'd? The Dear Gala Awards 2026 will take place at the iconic Muson Center, the prestigious Muson Center. Can you beat that? It's holding at the prestigious Muson Center. It's going to be a night of celebration, a night of excellence, a night of recognition, a night where we are going to be celebrating the champions which you listened to in this meeting or in this gathering. And I want you to register, invite someone, dress elegantly, and let's celebrate what has truly been a remarkable and phenomenal year in Toastmasters Division D. Please get your tickets, bring a friend, and I can't wait to see you there and celebrate with you. Thank you most graciously for attending this meeting, this gathering, this session. As I hand over to the chair, Mr. Chair, that is Toastmaster Kelvin Uveki, as he closes the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Debo. This has been a fantastic meeting. I would like to appreciate everybody that have been on the call. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Get ready for June 20th. Thank you, everybody. If you do not know, Division D won the best division across District 130, composing of different divisions across Nigeria, Gabon, across both West and Central Africa. And this was done through a collective effort of everyone across Division D, giving their best, giving speeches, developing themselves, providing themselves for leadership development. And on behalf of the division director, I want to say thank you, everybody. Division D, as he always says, is indeed distinguished. And I look forward to seeing everybody on June 20th. Let us celebrate, let us network, let us eat good food, let us dance to good music. This year has been wonderful. I cannot wait to celebrate with everybody. Come June 20th, as Toastmaster Debo mentioned, if you have not gotten your ticket, you are missing out. I can boast and I can beat my chest that what we have in store for you, you do not want to miss it. Toastmaster Debo has dropped a link for you to RSVP. You do not want to miss any moment for what we have in store for you. Our MCs, role players, program of events, everything is confirmed. You do not want to miss this. It's a great opportunity to meet Toastmasters across Southern Nigeria. It's a great opportunity to network, to socialize, to dance, and to eat great food. I look forward to seeing everybody on June 20th. Thank you, everybody, for joining today's call. Thank you. I don't know if the pre-event chair has anything to say, especially regarding our next events, especially the area debate, before we close the meeting. We have more in store for you. I just want to mention that.
Thank you most kindly, Mr. Chair. Well, good evening again, Toastmasters. And I see we have a few guests on the call. As we get in the run-up to the Dear 2026 Gala, we obviously have a series of events. Today is our second event, but next week we'll be coming to you with our inter-area debate. More details will be shared in due course, but what I want you to know is get ready to be blown away. If you thought today was spectacular, which I did think so, just get ready for a magnificent display of rhetorical wit, academic excellence, wisdom, humor, everything that you expect. All those parameters that Toastmaster Emeka and Toastmaster Emeka spoke about. Listening to arcs, universal language, quotations, call to actions, paradoxes, signposting, climaxes, crescendos. We will see them next week at the inter-area debate, where we will have 5 areas competing against each other to be crowned the best area in the division. And I'm from area 15, and I'm very sure that area 15 is going to perform strongly. I don't know what area you're from, but please, as the message goes out, if you want to volunteer to participate on behalf of your area, please reach out to the designated area directors once we let you know more information. So please volunteer to participate. Make sure you show up to cheer your area on as we crown one area the winner of the debate. And all of this is just so we can have a great time, bond, network even before next week, Saturday, the 20th of June at Muzon Center. We're looking forward to seeing you all there. Have a wonderful evening and take care. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are done for the evening, but you can remain on the call. Of course, at year 2026, we are emphasizing networking. If you want to meet anybody or you want to say anything, the floor is still open for the next 10, let me say 5 to 10 minutes. You can say anything, talk to people, catch up. Please go ahead and network. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening.